Okay, I would like to walk through a demonstration out of Chapter 1 for coding a condition. So the condition we have is Pott's disease. I'm pulling this from some practice I had from before. So we're coding Pott's disease here, number 2, Pott's disease. So in my browser, I have opened from the course site the ICD-10-CM, index, and then also the ICD-10-CM tabular. So we're going to start with the index. So here, when we looked at hypertension before, I know it was a little hard to use the find function because hypertension appeared so many places. But when we look at something like Pott's disease, chances are it's not going to pop up that much. So I'm going to hit the F3 key, which will give me a search function up here, and then you can see I had already typed in Pott's to make sure this would work okay. So I had typed in Pott's. I did use the apostrophe. Notice if you don't put the apostrophe in, it will give you 0 out of 0. But with an apostrophe S, it will actually find 5 different occurrences. So I'm going to start at number 1, and again, notice 1 through 5, I can use these arrow keys to navigate. It gives me Pott's, spinal, notice it's under curvature for the main term, and I get A18.01. Now, that could be great. I'm going to go ahead and check, since I only have 5 occurrences, I'm going to check the rest of those. Typically, if I had the book in front of me, I would just flip straight back to Pott's under P, but since we're using a PDF document, we're going to navigate just a little bit differently than that. So I'm going to check the next occurrence. Notice here it's under tuberculosis, Pott's curvature, we get the same code, still the A18.01. The next occurrence is under paraplegia, Pott's, again the same code. Finally, we get down to Pott's, which is where I would normally start. And then notice that I get several subterms, but they all point to the same code. So what we had on our form was Pott's disease. So here, Pott's disease is my subterm. Again, I'm still getting that A18.01. And just for sake of demonstration, we'll take a look at the last one. Notice this is Pott's puffy, something a little bit different, so we don't need to worry about that. So we've gotten that code, A18.01. So let's go back to our tabular here. And let's go ahead and try the find function again. So I'm going to choose F3. And it was A18.01. And I'll hit enter. Notice it came up with one example of it here. I'm at 2 of 4. I'm actually going to go up to the first occurrence. I'm guessing since it starts with an A, it's going to be at the top. So here I'm under category A18, which is tuberculosis of other organs, subcategory .0, tuberculosis of bones and joints, and then I get down to an additional subcategory, tuberculosis of spine. And notice here Pott's disease is listed right underneath that. I don't have any additional digits to choose from, so I can choose A18.01. That's my final code.